Hello, everyone, and thank you for showing up this beautiful Friday for our review and testimonials patching podcast. We have two amazing testimonies today. We have somebody who has graciously come back to update us about their mom. And then we also have a lady that has never been on before that has an incredible testimony. So I'm excited for you to hear both these testimonies and hear from these ladies. I'm also joined today. You guys don't see Wendy here. She's kind of had a little accident, so she's kind of recovering from that. So my business partner, my dear friend, Leah Stasny is here, Presidential Director. Leah, welcome, girl. Thank you.
Hey, I will be seeing you in 4 days.
Yes, you will.
I'm so excited.
4 sleeps, as people say. So you
4
guys,
sleeps.
welcome. My name's Laura Balzer. If you do not know me, I am a Senior Presidential Director with LifeWave, and I have David here who's going to read our disclaimer, and then we're going to get started on these testimonies.
Thank you, Laura. All LifeWave products are not intended to cure, treat, diagnose, or prevent any disease. If you are pregnant, nursing, on medication, or have any medical condition, please consult with your physician first. Our patching podcast is for educational purposes only. Back to you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so Pat, you're unmuted. You're ready to go. Yes?
Yes.
Awesome. So again, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. But what I would love for you to do, Pat, is introduce yourself. I know we're going to be talking about your mom, but introduce yourself. Let us know what was going on with your mom prior to getting her started on the patches, and who introduced you guys to them, and what are you noticing now?
Well, I am Pat Turrell, and we've been on the patches for a year and a half, almost 2, I guess. And Ann Sontag first said something to me about the patches, and then Donna Reiners. And so they're the reasons we're here. My mother is currently 96 years old, and she had 3 strokes before she had the patches on. And so her cognitive behaviors had been really dropping the year prior to her getting on the patches, to the degree where she said to me one day, she was very close to me, and I was saying something to her, and I had to repeat it over and over. And she finally said to me, "I hear what you're saying. I can't understand it." Well, it kind of broke my heart. And so along came the patches. We put them on her on a Saturday. Sunday morning, she comes up, she gets out of bed, comes into the den and says, "Well, good morning." And just like a different person. Next 2 days, the improvement continued to the degree where I would ask her a question, or she would come and sit down next to me on the couch in the morning with her coffee and discuss a niece that we had not seen in years, and talked about the niece being remarried, and her new husband was so nice. And it was a regular conversation with a woman that I hadn't been able to say a single sentence to. So that started us out. And, the doctor told me that she would continue having TIAs, and that has been the case. And so her progress has been very consistent. We've had to take her off and put her back on, and take her off and put her back on for various reasons. She got really dehydrated at some point. But the interesting thing I found about that is, even when we took her off, she still had the cognitive improvement to a degree that she had when she had them on. It was much better when she had them on. When she had them off, it wasn't as good, but you could tell.
Right.
The difference for me was that seeing her without them proved to me how effective they were, because I could see such a difference. So now, she's downstairs in her little, it's like an apartment. She has a huge bedroom and stuff. And she now gets up, she dresses by herself. She eats, she feeds herself. I fix her food, but she eats, she bathes all by herself. And she fell back in August, and the insurance company would not let her go into an in-house rehab. They said there was no reasonable expectation of her recovery. And I said, well, that's incorrect. There's a huge expectation, and she is back to doing everything she was doing before.
I love that. You know,
in recovery for sure.
now when she fell, did she have a significant injury, or was it just a fall, or like, I mean, she's 96.
Yeah, she's 96. And so she fell at night. So we found her the next morning. I looked at her monitor and she wasn't in bed. And I looked and she fell. And when she fell between her bed and her nightstand. There was some bruising and such, and we think she might have had a stroke.
Okay.
But she did go to the hospital that time. She ended up being admitted. But she also, that same day she was admitted, her test results came back that she had COVID. So she stayed in the hospital for 4 days. The nurses did not get her out of bed one time when she was in the hospital. So when she got out of the hospital, she was so weak, we literally had to pick her up and put her in a wheelchair and pick her up and put her in bed. So that was a very tenuous time, but we weren't sure of how she was going to do. We didn't give up. We put the patches on her. She came into the kitchen yesterday morning to get her own coffee, which was the last 3 weeks, I guess, has been really a huge improvement for her. That's been the most marked improvement. She's just, I want to call that old, because we dropped that insurance company. But I want to call them back. Yeah, I want to call them back and send them pictures of her walking around on her walker and well, I wouldn't send her pictures of her bathing, but she bathes herself. And
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I can tell Leah, like, she's coming through the screen. She wants to ask something, but it's amazing because, Stacy says it sometimes when she says, 8 and 10-year-olds, they fall down, they break their collarbone, they get up, they take off. Yeah. Your grandmother falls down, she might not be getting up. And I think that there's a correlation, because here she is 96, and to lose a conversation with your mother, it hurts on the heart.
Yeah, it does.
And then you see her get that back, have this fall, have all those things happen to her, and here she is up and dressing and bathing and getting her own coffee and living, just doing her things.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't want that?
Right.
And I have to commend you for being proactive, because for everybody on here, we have to be proactive for our own health. We have to stand up.
You do, because the insurance company, we had 3 doctors saying that she needed in-house, not in-house, what do they call it? Inpatient rehab, and they still refused. And she was exercising every day until she fell. Wow. And so they said there was no reasonable expectation. And I said, no, I disagree with that. And here we are.
Wow. Leah, do you have any?
We don't let her cook. We don't let her get things on her own. I fix her coffee and put it in front of her. But, for her to even come from her bedroom all the way into the breakfast room was a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Laura, that touches me close, because my mom is just turned 90, and it kind of the same kinds of things. Do you find it, is she open to drinking water? That's where a lot of older people tend to be they want to just bite you on that. Is your mom that way?
Yeah, what happens is I've got a big container and I put water in with lemon in it and take it in there to her. Most days she will drink it, and I will, and she'll, it's like one of these big like a hospital container that they give you in the hospital. I thought that was perfect. It's a big size and she could drink it. Most days she will drink it, but I found that when I pushed her to do that, she thought she was in trouble.
Oh,
Okay.
Right. And so I had to really back off from that. So she drinks it when she does. And when I go in, I say, well, drink your water. And she'll go, oh, I'm drinking it, and she'll take a drink and put it back down.
Good.
But, I can't stay in there all of her waking days,
Yeah.
And so, and she thinks she's like a little girl, a little child, she thinks she's in trouble when you get on to her about, Mom, I told you to drink your water. Well, that doesn't work,
right.
Well, and sometimes I find it's about even just how we present it. Because my mother, she would call one of my friends. She'd call one of my friends and she would have her go get her something because she's afraid we would fuss at her. Right. So yeah, I get that. Well, girl, yay for your mom. That just makes us so happy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Pat, thank you. And I know she's going to continue to improve, and we're going to probably have you come back just so we can hear about it, because, she's going to keep on getting older and keep on getting better. And I just think that's phenomenal. Thank you.
Her dad lived to 98.
Well, there it is. Longevity is in the blood. So that's fantastic. Thank you. Okay, so Vanessa. Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm really excited to hear Vanessa's testimonial or her story. She was referred to me by a client, and you're just the sweetest thing after we chatted on the phone. So why don't, just like Pat, why don't you introduce yourself? Let us know what life was a little bit like prior, and how things are going now, how long you've been patching.
Okay. Yes, my name is Vanessa Paulus. I am retired military after 20 years. We now winter in Arizona, so that's where we are now. And then we spend our summers in South Dakota. I have a good friend here who has some health issues. And when I saw her bounding out of her house with tons of energy, I'm like, what is different about you? And she has an autoimmune issue, and I was diagnosed with psoriasis this summer. And I had a really bad spot on my hand, and it would crack open. And we went to Seattle. We were in the saltwater a lot, and I was just in pain the whole time. So she told me about the patch. I got the patch, and I just happened to take a picture of my hand the day before I started to see, because I had read about the healing properties and why it was originally developed for the Navy SEALs and their healing. And so after 3 days, I took another picture, and I had no open cracks on my palm, and the little spots and sores had completely disappeared. So I've been patching for almost 4 weeks now, and I'm still very happy. And I'm hoping that some of the psoriasis in other places, because it hurts inside of my body too. And I think that's starting to come along. One thing I didn't expect was someone told me to write down 10 things that I would like to see change with the patch or just in general with my life. And I've struggled with IBS for 15 years. And it would be so bad, I would be laid up 3 to 5 days just at random. I couldn't plan on it. But on average, I had about 5 down days a month. My cramping, bloating, everything with IBS is completely gone. I have no issues.
That's amazing. Okay, so if I missed it, I don't think I did. How long from when you started the patch? Okay, so the cracking on your hand went away, and then you noticed the IBS was gone. What's some timeline there?
The IBS kind of surprised me. I'm used to being in pain all the time. So once you're used to that chronic pain, you don't really notice it every day. And then one day I realized I have not had any issues for a couple of weeks now. And so I would say after being on the patch for maybe a week or so, it changed, but it didn't dawn on me until I was a few weeks in.
Isn't that funny how that happens? Like you live with something for so long, and it drives you to a degree, and then it goes away and you don't notice for a couple of weeks. Like I think that happens to everybody. I love that. So you mentioned 10 things. Did anything else on that 10-thing list? Did you
Well,
see things because of the patches?
the IBS, all the symptoms of that took up, that took up 4 or 5 things. A few, I saw a video of a lady who had been taking it from, a year, her before and after pictures in her face, kind of just, just vain things. Oh, less wrinkles, more, fullness. Sure, at 52, I would like that. So those were kind of my long-term things to keep an eye on. And then the psoriasis. So those were my 10 things there.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Did you notice anything like better sleep?
I did have better sleep. My energy levels is usually pretty good. But I do feel really good. And my husband's been patching as well. And, his energy levels up, and we're committed. We're trying it for a year, and we're going to see where we're at.
I love that you say a year. I love that you didn't say 30 days. Like, yeah, amen. Amen. Hey, what's your husband notice?
I think his energy level's good. His hair, he's like, I think my hair is a little thicker. And, so, and we see my friend, her hair is just this luxurious, thick. It just wasn't like that.
Charlotte. Oh yeah, she has a mane now.
He's got an absolute mane. And so he's hoping for a small mane.
Yeah, no, she has a mane. She does. When I get on the phone or Zoom with her, I'm just like, Charlotte, where did all that hair come from? So that's fantastic.
It's amazing.
Leah, do you have any questions for Vanessa?
I just love hearing these stories. And Vanessa, that's just amazing. And you're planted in the middle of, being a military. You've got a big reach, and I know you're able to help so many others find relief and knowing what so many of our military personnel suffer with on a daily basis. And chronic pain to you guys it's unbearable to us that you guys live with that kind of pain. So thanks for coming on and sharing your story.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for your service. Wow.
Thank you so much.
Provide the freedom that we sit in every day.
Yes.
Somebody asked a question from both ladies, and I'm going to pull it back to Pat just a minute. Pat, can you explain what TIA is?
Yeah, they're small strokes.
Okay.
I don't know what the TIA stands for.
Okay.
I've been told, I don't remember, but they're tiny little strokes that happen that you don't even know happen.
Okay.
Ischemic attack.
Oh, thank you. Whoever that was.
Yeah.
Thank you. And what patches was your mom using? We got that question as well.
We were on X39 and Eon at first. Okay. Because X49 wasn't out yet.
Okay.
So as soon as it came out, we put it on her.
Perfect. Perfect.
And a marked difference when we did.
Awesome. Vanessa, same question for you. What patches did you start with, and what are you guys using now?
We started with the X39 and the Aeon, and then we switched to just the X39.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you. People are just asking, so thank you so much. If anybody is a guest on here, which I'm sure we have many, the other patch that they're speaking of outside of the stem cell activation patch, the X39, is a patch called Eon. And it does reduce the inflammation in your body systemically or throughout. So that combination of those two really is a fantastic jumping off point. But I know Leah is going to go over and share with you guys exactly how in the world a quarter size patch can produce the results that you heard from these two ladies. Leah?
Well, that is the question of the day. How does this little quarter size patch, you guys can see in the middle is a white, it looks like a piece of fabric or a piece of silk. And it is a patch. You remove the stickers off the back. And when you apply it to your skin, I'm just going to stick it here so you guys can see it. The white part is made up of an organic amino acids, sugar crystals, salts, oxygen, and it forms a crystal lattice structure that's embedded inside of that little piece of fabric. And what it essentially does is it becomes a reflector, and it uses our body's low-level infrared heat. If you touch your body, we all should be about 98.6. If we looked through night vision goggles, we would see all the colors outlining our body. That's a low-level infrared light, and it takes that low-level infrared heat, reflects off of our patch, and goes back into your body, and it signals your body to turn on a peptide in your liver called GHKCU. It's a copper peptide. There's a great website I love to refer people to. It's called reverseagingwithghk.com. And it's over 5,000 clinical studies by Dr. Lauren Picard that date back 50 years, you guys. And GHK is so important in our body. And it's one of the things that unfortunately declines in production as we age. And what GHK, what the significance is, and what David Schmidt, our founder, our owner, the owner of this amazing technology, figured out a way to harness our body heat, and in this proprietary blend, cause our body heat to reflect back in, activate our GHK. And the biggest thing GHK does for our body is it mobilizes and turns on your body's dormant stem cells. Because you guys, as we age, again, one of those things that we lose activity, production, and reproduction on are our stem cells. And by age 35, we have lost 50% of our stem cell activity. And stem cells, you guys, are the only cell in our body that can morph and turn into any cell that needs repairing in our bodies, whether it's a tissue, a muscle tissue, heart tissue, a lung, whatever the case may be. By age 60, and I know a lot of us on here are pushing it or over 60, by age 60, 65, you guys, we have only about 8 to 10% of our stem cells still trying to heal our bodies. And, you know, you guys, we have to all admit it. We've all done some damage to our bodies over the course of our lifetime, somehow, some way, whatever that was. And, you know, the great thing about this technology, it is so simple to use. The only caveat with it is you've got to drink water. You know, how much water we were talking earlier, and how mom was, you know, staying hydrated. And that was why I asked that question. 85% of people over the age of about 65 are dehydrated. And if we would just increase our water intake, would be huge. So you guys, you wear this patch for 12 hours. So I tell my clients, if you go to sleep typically at 10, make sure it's on by 10 a.m. Wear it 12 hours, drink your water, take it off. Taking it off, and I tell them also 12 hours off, you guys, that's when our body repairs and rejuvenates itself. And when people tell me, oh, I can get by on 3 hours of sleep, no, you can't. Your inside of your body needs repair and rejuvenation time. You may not see it now, but things will start breaking down. So 12 hours on, 12 hours off, you go about your day. It does not get any more simpler than that. And then, you know, we want to talk a little bit about our company. This company is an 18-year-old company, you guys. We didn't just pop on the market when the X39 hit the market. And this one's only been on the market for 3 years. And Laura had mentioned earlier some of the other support patches that we have. Over the course of 18 years, our inventor, David Schmidt, invented this technology because of the Navy SEALs that they'd come to him. He had done work with them on long missions, and they needed something to help them stay awake and have mental clarity. You know, those guys were amping up with caffeine, amphetamines, anything they could do. And David's company was born. And over the course of 18 years, he's developed different patches. We now refer to them as our support patches. And then just 3 years ago, he figured out, it took 10 years in R&D for this patch to find out that proprietary blend, what blend it was that makes that peptide activate our stem cells. And you guys, there's another great website to check out. It's called x39now.com. And on that website, you can access our over 90 clinical studies, you guys, done from across the globe, doctors, universities, just everywhere. We're in 80 countries. So again, we didn't just pop into the marketing scene with our product. We've been around a while and we are sharing it. So the ways that you can get it, I tell my customers, you can buy this for retail. It's $150. It comes in a sleeve of 30 patches. And that's 12 hours on, 12 hours off. So you wear one a day. That's a month supply. You could also get it as a preferred customer. Preferred customers set up a 6-month auto ship and you get this same sleeve for $99. Or with some of our favorite ways are the wholesale packs. And there's some different wholesale pack options. Our favorite one is the silver pack. And Laura had mentioned earlier, this is called our Dynamic Duo. You could get these in the silver pack, 2 months of each of these patches, guys, for $2.99 and bypass a membership fee. So get back with the person that invited you here. And first of all, thank them, but have them send you a couple PDFs. Tell them you need the health tracker and tell them you'd like to look at the patching summary that has a list of all of our patches because you want to read up on them. They all come with specific instructions, specific places that you put the patch, and they're based on acupuncture points. Again, medicine, Chinese medicine that's been around for a long time. So Laura, did I miss anything that you want to pick up for me?
Leave it alone.
And you're muted, girl.
I think you did a fabulous job as always. And I think David added some important information in the chat, which is, you guys, there's a 20-year patent just on the X39 stem cell activation patch. This is technology that's 20 years ahead of its time, and we're only almost 3 years into that patent. So I think that in the future, you're going to see some amazing things come out of David Schmidt, our CEO, inventor, and scientist behind not only this technology, but this amazing biotech company. So we want to share with you that you are welcome to come back to any testimonial evening, Monday through Thursday at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, or you're always welcome here on fantastic fun Fridays at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I do know we have some things going on tomorrow that I'd love to let our brand partners know about. We're going to be doing a training on closing, comp plan, and back office. So if you guys want to join us tomorrow at 1 p.m. at the same number, that would be excellent. But with that said, we would like to thank all of you for taking the time today and joining us. Vanessa, Pat, thank you. We always love having you come on and share. And now, Vanessa, 90 days, you're going to come back and we're going to be looking at some gorgeous, lovely skin, I'm sure. So everybody have a very blessed, beautiful weekend, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Is it tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Great team, great call.